There is a massive car bill that could be waiting to hit you any day now, and it costs thousands. If your car has an engine, petrol or diesel, it doesn't matter, this could happen to you. In this video, I'm going to tell you what the problem is and how to see it coming, no mechanical knowledge required, so that you can take action before it hits your wallet. I'm the Car Money Guy, and I spent 5 years working at a major car manufacturer, and it's my mission to help people like you get more out of car ownership without it costing you a fortune. Now, the problem I'm here to talk to you about relates to engine timing. Your engine is full of components moving in perfect synchronization. Think of dancers on a stage, each one hitting their mark at exactly the right moment. But they're moving so fast and so close together that if the timing breaks down even slightly, they can't avoid each other. They're going to collide. So what controls that perfect synchronization? That's where your engine's timing belt or timing chain comes in. A timing belt, also known as a cam belt, is a rubber belt with teeth on it. Its job is to keep everything inside your engine moving in perfect time. And here's the critical thing, it doesn't last forever. It's a wearing part, just like your tires and your brake pads. And just like those, if you leave it too long, it will fail. Every car with a timing belt has a replacement interval. That's a mileage or a time limit set by the manufacturer at which it needs to be replaced. For example, every 10 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. When it comes to replacement costs, you're typically looking at somewhere between £500 and £1,500, depending on your car and who does the work. That's not a small amount of money, but it is manageable if you plan for it. The problem is, most people have no idea what their interval is because nobody ever told them to check, and they're the ones who suffer, either with a surprise quote from their mechanic when they go for a service, or when the belt snaps and their timing fails. More on that later. Now, if you own a Ford or a car made by Stellantis, that's the brand that owns Vauxhall, Peugeot, Citroën, pay particular attention here. Some of these engines use what's called a wet belt. That's a timing belt that runs in the oil inside the engine rather than in dry air. Firstly, because the belt is inside the engine, it's a much more expensive job to replace. Secondly, this design was not a great move by these manufacturers. Rubber does not like being in hot oil, and as that belt degrades, bits of belt can cause havoc inside your engine. These issues are well documented online, but if you'd like me to do a video specifically on this topic, please let me know in the comments. So, what if you've checked your car and it doesn't have a timing belt? That means it almost certainly has a timing chain, and this is where things get interesting. On the face of it, a timing chain sounds ideal. Timing chains are made of metal and they're designed to last the life of the engine. No replacement intervals to worry about. Job done. Except it isn't always that simple. Timing chains can and do fail, and when they do, the bill is typically higher than a belt replacement, not lower. Because a chain replacement is typically more involved to get to and replace than a belt. The warning sign to listen to for a failing timing chain is a rattling noise when you start the engine from cold. Think of a bicycle chain being scraped, that kind of metallic clattering rattle that settles down once the engine has warmed up. If you hear that, particularly on a cold morning, take it seriously. That's your chain telling you it is stretching and needs attention. Now, not all timing chains are created equal. Some engines are generally very robust. Honda engines from the 2000s, for example, have strong reputations for timing chain reliability. Other engines are much more problematic. BMW had a well-documented period through the 2000s and the early 2010s where certain engines were particularly prone to timing chain issues. So if you're buying a used BMW from this era, this is something you need to investigate. Jaguar Land Rover diesels from the mid-2010s are another bad example. And here's where it gets important, because it's not just about the engine design itself. Servicing plays a huge role as well. BMW recommended what they called long life servicing during that period. These are extended intervals between oil changes. The problem is that older degraded oil accelerates the wear on the timing chain. So even a well-designed chain can fail prematurely if the engine hasn't been serviced regularly. As a rule of thumb, whatever car you drive, look for a service every year or every 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. That's the kind of servicing you want to see if you're buying used, and it's the standard you should be maintaining for your own car if you don't already. Because whether you have a belt or a chain, neglect is what turns a manageable situation into a catastrophic one. And that's where the real bill lives. When the timing belt snaps or the chain stretches beyond the point of no return, that synchronization disappears in an instant. The valves and pistons that were moving in perfect harmony start occupying the same space at the same time. Metal meets metal at enormous speed. Valves bend, pistons get damaged. In some cases, the engine is damaged beyond economical repair. Your engine doesn't gradually slow down and stop. It destroys itself from the inside, and you won't get a warning. No dashboard light, no gradual deterioration. It just happens, often on a normal journey on a normal day. When you have the car recovered and taken to a dealership, this is where the numbers start escalating. The dealer will inspect the damage and come back to you with a quote, and that quote will typically be for a brand new replacement engine. For a modern car, that bill can run to £8,000 in something like a Ford Fiesta, even more in a luxury car. And many people, faced with a broken car and no other point of reference, simply pay it because they don't know there's another way. But there is. An independent garage with experience in engine work can often carry out the repair for significantly less money. And here's what most people never find out. A quality reconditioned engine, rebuilt to manufacturer specification, can be fitted for a fraction of the cost of a brand new replacement. We are talking potentially thousands of pounds for a result that in many cases is just as reliable. The dealership isn't necessarily being dishonest with you when they say you need a replacement new engine. A new engine is a legitimate solution, but it isn't the only solution, and they're unlikely to volunteer that information unprompted. That's the trap, and now you know it exists. So let's make this useful. Depending on where you are right now, here's exactly what to do next. If you already own your car, get that service handbook out today. Check whether you have a timing belt or a timing chain. If it's a belt, find the replacement interval, the mileage, the age, and work out where you are against it. If you're approaching that interval, or you bought the car used and you're not sure when it was last done, book it in. Don't put it off. If it's a timing chain, check your service history. Look for regular oil changes, ideally every year or 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. If the history is patchy or you're hearing that cold start rattle we talked about, get it looked at sooner rather than later. And whatever you drive, please don't skimp on servicing to save money in the short term. It's the single most effective thing you can do to protect yourself from a bill that could run into the thousands. If you're buying a used car, before you commit to anything, find out how that engine is timed. If it's a belt, ask for proof that it's been changed at the correct interval. If the belt is due soon, or if the seller can't provide evidence it's been changed, either factor the replacement cost into your offer or just walk away. If it's got a timing chain, dig into that service history. Look for consistent, regular servicing. Be particularly cautious with cars that use long life servicing, so every 2 years or 20,000 miles, and consider getting an independent pre-purchase inspection. They're often worth every penny. If you're watching this video because your engine timing has already failed, Firstly, I'm sorry. Please don't panic, and please don't immediately accept the first quote you're given. Before you commit to anything, get a second opinion from a reputable independent garage. Ask specifically about reconditioned engine options. The dealership quote is not the only number on the table. And if you're not sure how to find a mechanic you can actually trust, I've made a video specifically to help you with that. I'll link it here. It'll walk you through exactly what to look out for so you don't end up out of pocket twice. Engine timing isn't something most people ever think about until it's too late. But now you know. You know what it is, why it matters, what to check, and crucially, what to do if the worst happens. That puts you in a completely different situation to most car owners on the road right now. This is exactly why I make these videos. Not for people who know how engines work, but for people who just want to own a car without it becoming a financial disaster. If that sounds like you, make sure you're subscribed because there's a lot more coming that you'll want to know about. And if this video has already saved you from a bill you didn't know was coming, please share it with someone else who drives because the chances are they don't know about this either. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.